Hello, everyone. Welcome to our webinar on the Dublin tour. My name is Jon Brenneman. I'm the president here at MOAA Vacations, and I'm joined today by John Berman, who is the president of Personalized Services, the company that we contracted with to put this tour together. I see we've got a dozen or so people here, which is great. We're going to go ahead and get started on right on time. You will see there's a Q&A and a chat if you kind of go to the contact bar up top. So as we go, if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the QA or chat. I'm going to do a brief intro, and then John and I are going to kind of go through the tour. But we will be answering questions as we go. So want to thank everybody for attending. If you're not familiar with MOAA Vacations, we are the affinity partner for the Military Officers Association of America. We've been working with them since 1998, so we have a long relationship with them. You may have seen some of the other signature groups we've done over the years. For example, this summer we've got Columbia River, we got Iceland in the fall. Next year we have Paris and Normandy, and these are much larger group moves. For the cruises, we actually charter the entire ship, so everybody on board is a member of MOAA or a guest of a MOAA member. And then for the land tours, we get a couple of buses, and those buses are also exclusive bus moves. We're trying something new this year with this Dublin tour. It is smaller. We're just going to have 46 people in this group, which is a small enough group to kind of maneuver around. And so what we wanted to do today, we know when we put the information out, we got some questions via email. So we thought this would be just a great format to kind of go over everything and then open it up to questions. I can tell you that we are down to just 10 rooms remaining, so we only have enough room for 20 more people. Once you decide that you want to go, you can see right here where my mouse is that we have a book now button. We ask you to complete that and send it to us. It makes the process a lot simpler for both us and you. Gives you opportunity to give us your email address, your phone number, your mailing address, the correct spellings of your names and your dates of birth. It's much quicker for you to just type that in rather than us trying to take it over the phone. And then we just need a quick conversation to get your credit card information and get you booked. So it's a fairly quick process. We do this for all the signature groups that we do with MOAA, and it's kind of a flawless kind of system. We've never had any really issues with it. In case we do run out of space, we do use the timestamp on these booking forms to kind of have an order for booking. So, you know, let's say we have 10 rooms and we get 12 requests, which won't happen. We won't have everybody on the call do a request right now. But if something like that were to happen, then we can actually see the order they came in. So it's kind of on a first serve basis. John, do you have anything you want to just say at the beginning, or I can just kind of start going over it and kind of going over the website page by page, which I think a lot of people have seen, and then you can jump in if you have anything to add, or if there's something you think that I omitted in my little talk.
No, nothing to add quite yet, except it's going to be an exciting trip, and
it is
go through the day by day.
It is going to be an exciting trip. Okay, so as you know, it's just a weekend trip. It's listed as this needs to be updated again. I think when we made a change, we went to the old version. Anyway, it is actually a 5-day, 4-night tour, and that includes the flight over. So that's the way a lot of tours kind of list these tours. Is the tour starts the day you leave the United States. So if you look at the 5 days, you depart on the 24th. That evening, you're on the plane flying over a night to Europe, or to Dublin rather, and then the next day is your first day actually at the hotel, which is the Radisson Blu St. Helens. It is a 5-star property. We are going to look at some pictures of that in just a second and talk a little bit more about that. So you actually only have 3 nights at the hotel. We can kind of go through the itinerary. Kind of just what I said. On day 1, you fly over. Day 2, you arrive, depending on what time you arrive. Most overnight flights will arrive relatively early in the morning. If we do your airfare, which we can do, If we do your airfare, we will have your flight schedule. So we will know when you're arriving. There are transfers, both from the airport to the hotel on the first day, and then there's transfers back to the airport on the last day. If you do air on your own, we need all you need to do is send us a copy of your flight schedule, and that will allow us to make sure that you are on the transfer list. When you get in the first day, we do have some sightseeing that afternoon. Two of the more popular places to go is we're looking to go to the Guinness Storehouse, and we're looking to go to the Jameson Distillery. I think you get at least one pint of beer at Guinness. They teach you how to pour it. You get a little certificate for being a pour master. Is that the term they use, John?
That's it.
That it is. There you go. It's a long time since I went there. Anyway, and then they do have a tasting as well at the Jameson Distillery. So just kind of a fun afternoon. That's all the sightseeing's included. So of course, a bus will pick us up at the hotel, take us to the sites, and bring us back to the hotel. And then that evening, we're going to have our welcome dinner. You'll probably have met a number of the people, during the sightseeing that afternoon. But we always like to have kind of a formal welcome dinner, get everybody together for dinner, have some wine, whatever, for the first night. So kind of a low-key day. Some people may be tired. Of course, everything that we offer is optional. So if you came in and you did not want to do the Jameson and the Guinness tour, obviously no requirement to do it. Day two, that's the big day. I mean, really the kind of the highlight of this entire weekend excursion is the Navy Notre Dame game, which is going to be at Aviva Stadium in Dublin. Our hotel, the Radisson Blu St. Helens, is about 3 miles from the stadium, so it's a really easy transfer. Buses will pick us up, take us to the stadium. If you've been to the website, you've probably read through this. They do have a 3-hour open bar during the tailgate. And then there's a video, which I will show in a few minutes, which kind of highlights, to give you a better idea what the tailgate's going to be like. But it is a really kind of what they call the ultimate tailgate, really kind of the highest end kind of one they do. Anyway, so 3-hour open bar. It is a sit down dinner, a 3-course meal. As I said, we'll see a video on that. You have drink tickets for there'll also be entertainment and speakers during the tailgate. So a really fun event. You have a couple of drink tickets for when you're in the stadium. And then afterwards, I'm sure most everybody has been to football games or big sporting events before. When the game's over, everybody's leaving all at once. It kind of gets congested. Our tailgate is on the campus of Marion College, which is literally just right across the street from the stadium. So we'll just walk over and meet at the tailgate tent again. And then they have a 1-hour kind of post tailgate kind of event, and have another cocktail or whatever, but kind of let the traffic die down a little bit, or everybody leaving. Bus will pick us up at the end of the event and take us back to the hotel. That's obviously a pretty big day with the game and everything. So Sunday morning is kind of at leisure to kind of, if you're up early and you want to do stuff, you actually have that opportunity in the morning. And then that afternoon, we're looking at doing a pub crawl, looking to get a little bit outside the city, go to some local pubs. Lunch is on your own, but there'll be obviously a number of different pubs you can pick from where you want to eat, some local entertainment, that kind of thing. Just think it'd be kind of a fun afternoon. That evening, we have our farewell reception, just getting everybody together again, kind of saying goodbye to friends old and new. And then, as I mentioned, we have the transfers that the next morning that take you back to the airport for your flight home. We do have the availability to do a pre and post if somebody wanted to go over early or stay longer. And that's anything from some people, because just to make sure, just to get in and be rested and all that kind of stuff, you could do like 1 day early. So you fly in a day early and you just stay 1 night extra at the Radisson Blu or any hotel you really want to. but obviously it's going to be more convenient to fly in, get to the Radisson Blu and check in, and then you're in the same room for 4 nights instead of 3. Or, you know, for those of you who are retired, and I know a lot of the MOAA members are, if you're flying all the way over to Europe, particularly for those people who may not be on the East Coast, you're more than welcome to work with us to put together any length of pre or post trip. You're already over there, so if there's something else you want to see. I do know that the Edinburgh military tattoo is going on. It actually ends this year on August 24th. So if you wanted to go to Scotland or go see the Edinburgh military tattoo, you'd need to do that as a pre. But that's just one of the countless options that you could do if you joined us on this. As I mentioned, kind of the highlight of the entire trip is going to be the game. So if you've been to this website, you've seen this already, but we kind of go through everything that is included, and it really is a lot. And they have this video that they put together. This is the tailgate actually comes from Aviva Stadium, so they're the ones that that put all these tailgates together, and of course it comes with a game ticket and everything. And I thought we'd just take, I think it's only like a minute and a half long, and check out the video. Hopefully everyone will be able to hear it, but here we go. Sorry. Everything on YouTube has ads, right? So.
On with chapter 4, we did go on.
Not even a minute. So I was, yeah, this is kind of blurry looking out like this. Anyway, I'll kind of show this part again. The videos showing the tent is the actual tent we'll be in, and this is actually the kind of the meal service that we're going to have. As I think a lot of you know, this is not the first game in this Aer Lingus football series that they are doing there at Aviva Stadium. Last year it was Northwestern in Nebraska. So what you're looking at in like these images right here, this is the tent we will be in. This is the food service and those types of things. Obviously the football images that they have from the Notre Dame Navy game is from games that were not played at this stadium, or I guess they played over in Ireland. What was it, 10 years ago? Actually, probably a little bit longer ago than that. So anyway, do you know when that was, John?
I think it was, what, 2012, I believe.
Is that what it was? Okay. All right, where were we? You gotta go back to the site. Okay. Oh,
And the exciting part is everybody in the city during this event is there for this event.
yeah.
It makes it just, you know, the energy level, the excitement, it just adds to everything there.
Yeah,
And
I think one of the things we saw is they're expecting 40,000 people from the United States to come over for this game. So,
and the good part, to have such a nice hotel, to have the tent and all the activities there, not a lot of people are going to have that opportunity.
yes, absolutely. Yeah, and then we actually have, obviously the tent is larger than our group when we have 46 people. But what they have is they have tables of either 10 or 12. So they have 2 different table sizes. So we will actually have 4 tables for our group. If we go to the pricing page, since we've done the other, there we go. Okay, so double occupancy, as I'm sure you saw in the email, is $38.92. We have had some people ask for both singles and triples. In fact, I think we have 4 triple rooms booked already. The thing with the single and the triples is we have 46 seats And those are at tables of either 10 or 12. So obviously we have 3 tables of 12 and 1 table of 10 is how we get to 46. And the tailgate is actually done by tables, not by individual seats. So if we get a triple or a single, we need to have another single or another triple, whatever it is. We need to end up with an even number of seats, because that's the numbers of seats at a table. Not that it's an issue, but I mean, if you call to book a double, we can confirm you instantly. If you call for a single or triple, we need to wait till we get one more single or triple, because 1 and 3 or 3 and 3 or 1 and 1 all equals up to an even number. We do have a single gentleman who wants to go. He's a single. There is a single supplement that's 155%. But if you have another single person who's on the call who would want to share with another MOAA member, then we could put both the singles together and neither one of you would pay a single supplement. We do that on the signature groups all the time. Never really had an issue, but the one thing that we do is if you wanted to go as a single and we're interested in saving, money by going with as a single with another MOAA member, what we do is we put you in contact with each other so you can talk on the phone or talk via email or however you guys want to talk amongst yourselves. And then after meeting the other person, granted virtually, but still meeting the other person, then you guys can decide whether or not you want to share a room or not. This is a very short trip. It's not like some of our signature groups that are, 10 days long, but certainly it's an option and an opportunity to save some money. The meals, there's breakfast every day. There's a lunch one day, and the lunch is the day that we are doing the sightseeing that morning before the football game. I don't think I mentioned that before when I was going through the day today, but that's kind of seeing the big sites: Dublin Castle, St. Peter's. I'm not going to remember the other couple of places off the top of my head. It's on the day-to-day itinerary, but kind of the more traditional sightseeing. Obviously, as I mentioned, everything's optional. If you've seen all those sites before, you have kind of a day on your own to do whatever you want. 3 dinners. We have the welcome dinner. We have the dinner, which is at the tailgate, which I mentioned is a 3-course dinner, and then the farewell dinner at the last evening, which is a great way to have really the group together all the time, to do stuff together. Okay, so we mentioned the hotel. This is actually the 5-star Radisson Blu St. Helens. Just a beautiful resort. You can Google it and you can see everything. I just grabbed 4 pictures of it. This is actually the standard double room. This is the entryway. This is from, I think, the breakfast buffet, from looking what kind of food's there. And then this is just kind of another photo to give you an idea. It is a very, I don't know, what's the word you use for it, John? A very traditional type
traditional. And, and I wanted to add, John, you had mentioned if someone, let's say, didn't want to go to Guinness, didn't want to do one of the activities, the grounds at the hotel are absolutely beautiful. It's always cool in that area, so it might not be weather that you're going to lay out at the pool. But between the spas, the outdoor areas, sitting there reading a book, it's just because there's about 3 to 4 acres of grounds around this property.
Yeah, and there's a ton of public areas where you talk about grabbing a book, and just the scenery is unbelievable. So that's a great thing to add. Airfare. A couple of people have asked about airfare. Airfare is not included. We never include airfare in groups we do for MOAA because we have people from coast to coast, from major cities to small cities. So we can absolutely help with your airfare if you'd like. You just need to let us know what gateways you want, what class of service you're interested in, and then what your schedule is going to be. And that would be, are you going in early, you staying late? Obviously you can do pre's and posts on your own. You don't need to come to us for your assistance. If you had somebody there you're going to visit or something like that along those lines. But certainly let us know. Obviously, depending on where you're in the country, it's not everywhere. We're based in Kansas City. Kansas City does not currently have nonstop service to Dublin, but we can certainly help you with that, or you can do it on your own. And then extend your vacation. And I know this was on another page as well, but particularly with a shorter weekend trip like this, we do 7-10 night signature groups with MOAA members who will add another week to either the front or the end of it. And once again, I mentioned a majority of the MOAA members are either retired military or dependent military. And so they have a lot more time on their hand, and they take advantage of that. And the fact that if they're going to fly all the way over to Europe, while they're there, they're going to see a lot. For those younger, active, former MOAA members, obviously a trip like this is more accessible because it's really just a long weekend. It's a fly out on a Thursday, fly home on a Monday kind of deal. So with that, John, I'm sure you have more that you'd like to add. So what else should we highlight on this trip?
Did we have any questions to do before we highlight anything else?
I see no questions or nothing in chat at this time.
Okay, because you've gone over everything so well. No one has any questions.
Is that what it is? Okay.
That's it.
Go ahead. Sorry, John.
No, I was going to say, as you were saying, the 40,000 people there, what I really love so much about this is you're getting the VIP experience. We're going to have guides that are going to be with us. You're not there on your own. You're not getting off the hook, at the airport and figure it out. It's all planned. It's a great experience. And you've got the best of both worlds. We've got the exciting and the crowds at the game, the pub crawls, and then you've got the vacation aspect of it being at a property like the Radisson there.
Yeah. And it's a huge event for Dublin. I mean, if you look near the stadium, and as I mentioned, we're just 3 miles away from the stadium, but looking at the area, there is really no hotels with any rooms for 6 to 10 miles within the stadium. I mean, you look for hotels and everything is sold out, which is great. I mean, it's going to be a very fun, not Super Bowl weekend, but Super Bowl weekend-esque, which is part of the reason that I think that we have just such a phenomenal deal at that price. When you look at what hotel rooms are, $500, $600, $700 a night, and I'm sure everybody who's done sports before knows how that goes. If there's a large sporting event, the prices of hotels go up significantly. And then the transfers and the sightseeing and everything else we're doing, the tailgate package. I mean, the ticket and tickets are unbelievable. I mentioned I'm from Kansas City. I mean, obviously the Super Bowl is a bigger event, but Super Bowl tickets this year we're going for $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 a ticket, and that's something that we deal with when we were putting this together. Is trying to put something together that was both first class and yet affordable and provided such an amazing value. And a lot of that is from John's team at Personalized Services, who are just great at doing this, of putting these things together, and all the logistics that go with it, from getting people from here to here and dinner and back and all those other types of things. So I just think it's going to be a phenomenal opportunity. Obviously, if I go back to, which page is it on? I guess it's on every page, isn't it? Yeah. There's our 800 number. Mike Tyrell, who's the vice president here at MOAA Vacations, is handling this. So if you call in, you want to talk to Mike. But as I said, it's this book now form that we're asking everybody to complete. It kind of goes through how that works. But just as you can see, you input this information, and then we really have everything that we need other than your credit card. So once you're ready to book, you fill this form out, you send it in. Give us a call, or we'll give you a call. Get your credit card. It's that simple. You're booked. If you have any questions, obviously you can still answer them right now. Still no questions, although a few more people have logged in a little late. So if you have questions, you can actually call me or Mike Tyrell. I'd ask for Mike first, unless he's busy, and I'm assuming he's going to be pretty busy this afternoon. But that's just, you have questions. I think everything we went through today kind of covered everything. It's not really that complicated. It's just a short but amazing trip we put together. So fill out the booking form. Let's get you your room reserved. And I look forward to seeing everybody in Dublin. John?
That's great. I think the only last thing, and I know you've said this and I don't want to repeat.
No.
But if somebody does want to do, let's say you just want to stay in that area. If you want to do pre-post, you want to stay a few days before, a few days after, we can help you also arrange some different things to do, some activities. So it's really whatever you want to be. It's your vacation. So your quick weekend, as John said, or longer, you can do your own thing or we can help you plan some. It's really up to you.
That's a great point. Yeah. If the name doesn't kind of tell you what they do, personalized services, and John, maybe you want to take just a second and kind of do a better overview than I could do of exactly what you guys do. But I mean, you look at this trip, we went to them with an itinerary and said, here's what we want. We want to fly in on the 24th. We want to have, sightseeing that afternoon. We want to have a group dinner. The next day, we want to have sightseeing again. And that evening we have the game and, the whole tailgate. And then we want to do a pub crawler. We want to have a farewell dinner. And we literally just drafted an email of what we wanted and sent it to him and said, make this work. And he did. And that's what they do. So, yeah, I mean, that's a great point. I mentioned that we had, some people were coming in a day early and we added a pre-night hotel, so when they land in Dublin, they could stay in the same hotel, the same room for their entire stay. But yeah, they do everything. If there's something you want to see or something specifically that you want to do, just make sure you let us know, and then we just go to John's team and say, here's what they want to do. They want to stay 2 days late, and in those 2 days late, they want to, they want to go to Cliffs of Moher, or they want to go to Killarney,
Exactly.
or whatever it might be. You just let us know while you're in Ireland. I mean, let's admit it, it's even if you're on the East Coast, it's not a short flight. So if you're all the way over there and you've always wanted to see the Cliffs of Moher, what a better time than when you're in Dublin to add a day. And in that, the day pre or the day post, after our package, just say we want to stay one more day. We want to stay at the Radisson Blu again. And on that day that we're staying, that Monday when everybody else is flying home, we'd like to go and see this and do this while we're there. It's just a great opportunity to do whatever you want, because it's custom. It's not like, most of the escorted tour packages, where there's a schedule that everybody's doing this all together. You can really do whatever you want pre and post. So thanks, John. That was a great point. You want to add anything to what I said about what services you guys actually provide, or some options that they might consider while they're in Ireland?
I think you gave some great options in Ireland, but again, you're not even limited to just Ireland. I think this is a great, let's say on the way home, you're leaving, you live in Kansas City, you're heading over to Ireland. You want to then from Ireland, maybe you want to stay in the UK, go over to London a few days for a week, whatever you want to do. As long as we get you right now booked on the main part of the tour that you only have, what did you say? Just 20 seats left?
Yeah.
As long as you lock that in, the rest we could help you put together. Whatever you're thinking of doing. If you want to head over to another city, spend some time in Amsterdam, whatever you want to do while you're there, we can help you do that.
Gotcha. We do have a couple of questions now, so we'll start. Are there other options for sightseeing other than breweries and pub crawl during this trip? And I could go to this real quick. On Saturday morning, we're doing sightseeing there it goes. On Saturday morning, we're doing St. Patrick's Cathedral, Dublin Castle, Trinity College, and City Hall. So there is sightseeing other than the breweries and the pub crawl. But John, let's see if we can maybe surmise another version of this question. If they wanted to do something other than if they want to do something other than the Jameson and the Guinness on Friday, or do something other than the pub call on Sunday, we could look at doing that as well, correct?
Yeah, we can also okay, I have to admit things. If I was going, I'm not the pub crawl kind of guy. Maybe we can put something that's an optional for people to do. We can look at that.
Okay.
That way they just have some option. I think the pub crawl is going to be a lot of fun, though.
I
don't want to miss that. I don't want to say it that way.
But yeah, maybe on Friday when it's the afternoon and we're doing Jameson and Guinness. And once again, that's the beauty of working with a company like John's, where we're going to end up with 46 people, and once probably by the end of this week when we're sold out. I mean, as I mentioned, we've already sold 26 of the 46 seats, so we have 10 rooms, or room for 20 more people on it. We can try getting a consensus for what people want, and it would be, I mean, no reason, Peggy, there's no reason we couldn't offer like an option on Friday of either do A or B. as long as we had, you know, a half dozen or more people that were along those lines. We can't end up offering 20 different options, you know, on Friday, but we could certainly look into that. Stephen is asked about single. I've talked to Stephen before, to be completely transparent of this. And when I mentioned earlier, since Stephen put it out there and he's looking for a roommate, when Stephen, when you weren't on, I guess, but I mentioned it earlier when we were kind of going through the pricing, that I mentioned that we had a single man who was looking to go and looking for a roommate. So I did tell everyone, as you just kind of, you know, alluded to in your question, that we do have Stephen who's looking to go, is looking to find a roommate to go with him. Oh, you're welcome, Stephen. Any other questions from anybody? The only other thing I haven't mentioned yet, which we always mention when we do these MOAA groups, is it's open to MOAA members and your guests. So I mentioned we have some triple rooms. You know, one of them's like 3 gentlemen that are going together that we're putting in a family room, you know, where there's 3 beds. And you know, all we know is one of them's a MOAA member. They all 3 could be, but they don't necessarily have to be. Or, you know, we have parents that are taking their son along, or those types of things. So when we say this is open to MOAA members, anything we ever do for MOAA members is open to a MOAA member and as many friends as they want to take. So, you know, if you had another couple that you wanted to invite along, or a couple other couples, or whatever it is, it's always MOAA members and their guests. So feel free to invite other people with you that like to go. I mean, it's going to be a phenomenal weekend trip. If your weekend would be more fun, you know, if Betsy and Tim went with you, then for goodness sakes, invite Betsy, Tim, because our goal is to make sure that everybody goes on this trip has as much fun as possible. And a lot of that is just accommodating whatever requests people have. So with that being said, we've answered all the questions as far as I can tell. So once again, I'm gonna kind of go back to that top of the page where it's got our 800 number. If you have questions, please give us a call. If you're ready to book, as I said before, you know, the booking requests are in the order we receive them. So we have 10 rooms remaining, and that's 10 double rooms. Obviously, if people are off asking for triples or something like that, we have fewer rooms. But once you're ready to book, fill out the booking form. We'll contact you, or you contact us. We get you your credit card, and then you're booked. And then, as I said, we can either help you with your air, or you can do air on your own. But remember, if you do air on your own, and I'm sure if we don't have your flight information, we'll follow up on this, but just get us your flight schedule, so that way we can make sure that we get your transfers scheduled for you. So make sure no more questions. I just want to take just a second, and John, I thank you for joining me on this call. I know that you're a very busy man, and when we were talking about doing this, and you said you'd take, you know, 30 minutes, an hour out of your time to be here in case anybody had any questions I couldn't answer. On behalf of myself and everyone at MOAA, we appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to join us. And I'll turn it to you for any last word. But before I do, I wanted to thank everybody for showing up today. I look forward to seeing everybody in Dublin. And John, take it away.
And thank you for having me.
Yeah.
And just again, everybody, no questions. If you have any questions and you didn't want to ask them online here, but it's something about what you want to do, what you want to see, anything, don't hesitate to email, pass them on. And if Mike or John and his team will get to me if they need to do that as well. And we're happy to talk to you. Yeah, this is your vacation. We want to make it as much fun as possible. Obviously, we can't do everything, but we can do most things. So if there's something we can do to make this an even more enjoyable trip for you, just let us know, and we'll certainly see what we can do to make that happen. All right, I appreciate everybody for joining us today, and hope to talk to you or see you soon. Bye, everyone. Bye.